So as I've mentioned before, when you're doing things for the first time, sometimes they don't quite work out as you hope. I've been using this vinyl floor material, which I tried attaching with vinyl adhesive. That didn't work. And I tried it with spray adhesive. It doesn't work either. So I'm going to try another type of contact adhesive. If that doesn't work, I'll have to move on to a different solution. Also, these stick-on tiles that I tried, I'm not happy with them, so they're coming off today, and I'm going to use another kind of stick-on tile, but a bit better quality. So today I'm going to install the solar panels on the roof. It's a good idea to attach a bit of foam to your ladder so you don't put dents in the side of the roof. The thing that you'll find, unless you bought a brand new van, is that no one ever cleans the top of a van. As you can see, this is only 3 years old and it's filthy. So first step will be removing all of that. Okay, so that's all 4 panels in place on the roof, stuck down with loads and loads of double-sided tape. You might notice that first panel's on a slightly different angle. If you're wondering why I've done that, so am I. But unfortunately, once you stick the panel down, there's no way you can lift it up again without breaking it, so it's going to have to stay like that. But luckily, no one's ever going to see, except anyone watching this channel. Been doing a bit of wiring recently. Under the front seat here, the passenger seat, it's actually quite a big storage space, and I found I could fit 2 of these 200 amp hour AGM batteries. They fit very neatly in there. The shape of the floor even holds them in place. I will have a strap over them, but they really can't move anywhere anyway. So there's a 200 amp breaker just here, which supplies all of the power to the inverter and other things in the cabin. So it's just a master isolator basically. And here there's a 40 amp fuse for the DC to DC charger, which is mounted over here behind the driver's seat. There's also a fuse on the positive wire to the alternator battery, which is mounted underneath the driver's seat. I've got the solar charger hooked up now to those panels on the roof. Not drawing any current at the moment, so if I turn a couple of things on, I'll start pulling some amps out of the solar. Okay, time for another update on my shower saga. I did in the end decide not to bother with the vinyl. What I've done instead is go over the whole interior with a wet area base coat, which is a kind of waterproof filler, and I've gone into all the corners to give them a radius, so it'll make it easier to wipe down and clean. And then over the top of that I'm using tile paint, which is a paint normally used to refresh the look of old tiles, but it's a very hard wearing and very sticky paint, which should work out okay, I think. The only big question mark is the longevity and how often I'll have to repaint, but we'll find that out in time. I also gave up on the fake tiles I was using around here and around here. For now I'm just going with paint. So I've smoothed over the plywood with a skim coat, and then done a couple of coats of this neutral colour, which goes pretty well with the timber, and we'll see how that looks. If I find a better solution for a stick-on tile, then I'll try it. Something you rarely see in these videos is the inside of the sliding door, because it's a bit of an awkward thing. Can't build much onto it. So to tidy it up, I've used this cheap 3D foam stick-on material, which, unlike all the other cheap things I've tried, I'm actually quite happy with. Looks a bit less industrial, and being white, it also helps the cabin feel a bit brighter. And given that it is foam with a foil back, probably adds a little bit to the insulation. Okay, rainy all day here, so I thought I'd do something a bit more entertaining, putting in the TV. This is a 32-inch 12-volt TV, which you can also run with a transformer. But more importantly, I put it on an articulated arm. So that way I can get to the storage in the front, and also the DVD player, which is built in on this side, because out on the road you can't always be guaranteed of internet. See, up in here I've filled in the gap between the wall and the storage tray that was already there, which leaves us with a nice big bit of storage. I've just got to decide how I'm going to do the door for it now. I'm starting to think I won't bother having one. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Importantly, the door still opens with the TV there, and I've added a bit of foam on this corner so it doesn't damage the roof there. Okay, to finish off the video this week, a bit of a tour of how things have gone. Started this shelf up here, which will be handy for keeping remotes and things in. I've done 3 coats of that paint in the shower now. Just come up pretty well. Put the tap in and started working on the plumbing. Once I started working on the plumbing, I decided I wasn't going to use an undercar tank for the fresh water. Instead, I've got this 60 litre 40 by 40 by 40 centimetre cube, so that'll take care of all of the fresh water. And I've mounted a 52 litre grey water tank on this side of the car underneath the shower and the sink. I'll give you a look at that now. Here's the grey water tank. It's a long slim one, which I've mounted with some galvanised steel hangers. They attach up on the inside there, and then this strap is removable. The muffler was a little bit too close to the tank, but rather than go for a skinnier tank, I actually had an exhaust shop move the muffler over a bit to give me enough clearance so that it wouldn't damage the tank. So up this end of the tank there's a 25mm hose fitting that'll go to the drain for the sink. There's a 10mm fitting here that'll just have a tap on it for emptying the grey water. And the water from the shower will go through a hole in the top of the tank. So I'll leave it there for now. I'm going to get on with painting these seats, which I just ordered the cushions for, but they're about 3 weeks away. So that'll give me time to get on with fitting the air conditioning and finishing off the plumbing.